They set forward from the mount of Yahweh 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of Yahweh went before them 3 days' journey, to seek out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahweh was over them by day, when they set forward from the camp. And it was, when the ark set forward, that Moshe said, Rise up, O Yahweh, and let thy enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Yahweh, to the myriads of the thousands of Yisrael. Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 11. And the people were as murmurers, speaking evil in the ears of Yahweh. And when Yahweh heard it, his anger was kindled, and the fire of Yahweh burnt among them, and he devoured in the uttermost part of the camp. And the people cried to Moshe, and Moshe prayed to Yahweh, and the fire abated. And the name of that place was called Tabe'erah, because the fire of Yahweh burnt among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them desired exceedingly. And the children of Yisrael also wept again, and said, Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Mitzrayim for naught, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all except this manna to look upon. And the manna was like coriander seed, and the appearance thereof as the appearance of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, and ground it in mills, or beat it in mortars, and boiled it in pots, and made cakes of it, and the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. And Moshe heard the people weeping throughout their families, every man at the door of his tent. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled greatly, and Moshe was displeased. And Moshe said to Yahweh, For what reason hast thou dealt ill with thy servant? And for what reason have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? Have I conceived all this people? Have I brought them forth, that thou shouldst say to me, Carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father carrieth the sucking child, to the land which thou swearest an oath to their fathers? Whence should I have flesh to give to all this people? For they weep to me, saying, Give us flesh, that we may eat. I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my misery. And Yahweh said to Moshe,
Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Yisrael, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, that they stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. And say thou to the people, Sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, Who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Mithraim. Therefore Yahweh will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but a whole month, until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome to you, because that ye have rejected Yahweh who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, Why came we forth out of Mithraim?
And Moshe said, The people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen. And thou hast said,
I will give them flesh that they eat a whole month.
Shall flocks and herds be slain for them to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice them? And Yahweh said to Moshe,
Is Yahweh's hand become short? Now shalt thou see whether my word shall become to thee or not.
And Moshe went out and told the people the words of Yahweh, and he gathered 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tent. And Yahweh came down in the cloud, and spoke to him, and took of the Spirit that was upon him, and put it upon the 70 elders. And it was that when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied, but they did so no more. But there remained 2 men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but had not gone out to the tent. And they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moshe, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Yehoshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moshe, one of his chosen men, answered and said, My lord Moshe, forbid them. And Moshe said to him, Art thou jealous for my sake? Would that all Yahweh's people were prophets, that Yahweh would put his Spirit upon them. And Moshe was gathered to the camp, he and the elders of Israel. And there went forth a wind from Yahweh, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp, and about 2 cubits above the face of the earth. And the people rose up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them abroad for themselves round about the camp. While the flesh was yet between their teeth, before it was chewed, the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the people, and Yahweh smote the people with a very great plague. And the name of that place was called Kibroth Hattawa, because there they buried the people that desired. From Kibroth Hattawa the people journeyed to Hatheroth, and they abode at Hatheroth. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe, because of the Cushite woman whom he had married.